All right, let's get started. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining the second session in our new Ask Tom series, Run Oracle Your Way, where we discuss running workloads on Oracle Cloud Database Services in Microsoft Azure. My name is Nathan Fuzzi. I'm a product manager for Exadata Database Service here at Oracle. I'm your host for this session, and I'm joined by Julian Silverstone, who's a solutions architect here at Oracle, as well as Venkat Ramakrishnan, who is a product manager for specialized workloads with Microsoft. Guys, I'll turn the show over to you in just a moment. But first, scan the QR code to register for upcoming sessions or visit asktom.com to review past sessions and sign up for future ones. We do take questions during the session via the Q&A function, so please post your questions at any time, and we'll answer them as we go or live at the end of the presentation. And lastly, we are recording the session, and we will post the recording and the slides on asktom.com. All right, today we'll do a quick review of Oracle AI Database at Azure Services, and then we'll jump into our main topic of PeopleSoft and Enterprise Performance Management, or EPM, reference architectures, including network topologies and best practices. And finally, we'll share some resources where you can learn more. So let's dive in. We have a comprehensive set of Oracle Database services on Oracle AI Database at Azure. That starts with Autonomous AI Database, which is our fully managed Oracle Database service running on the Exadata platform. This is the ideal service for new and cloud native applications because it provides complete automation and self-tuning so you can focus on building the application. Now, Autonomous Serverless has been available on Azure for almost 2 years, and that offers rapid provisioning, hands-off management, and elastic scaling. But in March, we launched it on dedicated infrastructure as well, and that provides exclusive cloud resources for greater control over maintenance scheduling and resource allocation. We also offer the co-managed Exadata database service, which brings the performance and scalability of Exadata along with cloud automation to simplify the management of lifecycle aspects while giving you full administrative control of the virtual machines and databases. Exadata Database Service is available on dedicated infrastructure for enterprise migrations, supporting workload isolation and consolidation use cases. It's also available on Exascale infrastructure, which is a shared infrastructure model for running standalone business and mission critical workloads. Base Database Service offers a low-cost co-managed service for non-mission critical workloads running on standard infrastructure with cloud automation. Autonomous Recovery Service is a fully managed backup service that minimizes the impact of backups to your database. It also stores those backups efficiently and securely and provides continuous validation of those backups for peace of mind. And finally, OCI Golden Gate gives you a fully managed solution for high performance data integration and replication across heterogeneous environments, simplifying migrations and ongoing data transfer management. Here we can see a current map of Oracle AI Database at Azure regions with a live region count of 33, the most of any of our hyperscaler partners. These regions all offer zonal redundancy within a region or country, making building highly available and resilient architectures simple. As you can see, there's extensive coverage across the globe, so wherever you run your applications, you can leverage Oracle AI Database at Azure to serve all your data needs. All right, let me now turn it over to Julian and Venkat to talk about running your applications on Oracle AI Database at Azure. Julian?
Hey, thank you, Nathan. Welcome, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. So, as Nathan presented, now we will be talking about PeopleSoft on Oracle AI Database at Azure. So, probably if you join us, thank you, and you are probably interested how to migrate your PeopleSoft or EPM solution to the cloud. So, just a brief reminder: Oracle Enterprise PeopleSoft is a Oracle Enterprise application that support all your human capital management, so your financial, supply chain, and compute solution. You probably are running already PeopleSoft in your private data center, and you probably have the need to migrate to the cloud. And what we will explain with Venkat is how to migrate your PeopleSoft environment to Azure with Oracle AI Database at Azure is the best fit for you to design a secure and high availability solution in the cloud. So what we explain here in this session, but also what you can find in the documentation, in Azure documentation, in Oracle documentation, in the public documentation, you will find the details of this reference architecture to run in the best way and to provide the best latency and lowest latency, having precisely your PeopleSoft compute and your PeopleSoft databases close to each other in the same Azure and Azure availability zone. So here you can see the diagram is maybe a little bit busy, but it's because PeopleSoft, as I mentioned, cover many different components, many different aspects. So you are running on Azure VM People tools, your different web server, your Elasticsearch, your process scheduler. So you are running all of this on your Azure computes. You are using Azure files to share the configuration. And one of the things that we detail in the reference architecture in the public documentation, we advise to use Azure File Premium SKU to deliver the highest throughput and lowest latency. So this way you can scale up and scale down the number of instances and Azure VM by sharing the configuration and the assets and resources. And also, then in your landing zone, in your Azure landing zone, as you can see here in your subscription, in your VNet, you will also deploy your Oracle databases in the delegated subnet of your VNet. With PeopleSoft, you can deploy multiple database services, as Nathan described. So you can run, of course, and that will be the preference, Exadata database services, but you can run also with autonomous AI database serverless. So that these resources are deployed and running from your delegated subnet in the VNet, in the same VNet, where you will also deploy your compute to meet the lowest latency and to deploy and migrate your solution. Here you can see also on this diagram, you can leverage the other services with Oracle Database at Azure. So I'm especially thinking about autonomous recovery service for your backups, but we will detail that in the next upcoming slides. So by choosing Oracle AI Database at Azure, then you can, by deploying your database tier with Exadata or Autonomous Database Serverless, you can enable the full redundancy in your region or cross AZ or directly in the AZ that you will deploy. And so on the next slide, please, Nathan, we will have a similar architecture for enterprise performance management. So EPM, in short, so EPM is adopted by finance teams for your financial closure, for your consolidation, for your planning, for your budgeting. You probably heard about, and you are using Hyperion. So that's this services. So Hyperion, SBAS are really Oracle applications that are really known by the market that you are using and that you are probably using also on premises. So by following what is described here also, you can migrate the different components directly on Azure VMs. So run your OHS, so your WebLogic, your Apache services to run OHS, but also the different other components, so Hyperion Planning, SBAS, all of them on Azure VMs. And same way, you can run your database tier on Exadata dedicated, that will be the database services preferred of choice For smaller environment, for test environment, for dev test environment, you can consider Oracle-based database service. But for your production workload, precisely, we recommend to use Exadata dedicated to leverage precisely all this native capability that we will detail, but also to be able to leverage real application cluster, so rack, and being able to scale up, scale down your databases, and also to scale up, scale down the number of instances for your Azure VM to run your application tier. So similarly, you will run also Azure files. Again, we recommend the SKU premium to meet the best performance. And you can deploy all the different components in the same subscription, Azure subscription, in the same Azure VNet, where you have a dedicated subnet again for your database services and other VNets. So, for example, here the app server, and also could be for your business logic, for example, SBAS in another subnet. So that's the architecture to represent Peoplesoft and EPM. So having this, I would say, these premises, you can expand and leverage what is coming in the next slide. You probably know already, I'm sure, familiar already with Oracle Maximum Availability Architecture called MAA that will enable you to the framework and the architecture and the best practices to deploy and run your Oracle database with the high availability, the best service level for your databases. And by doing this, you can follow the different standard reference architecture, decline in the different level that you can see here: bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and what is new now is diamond. So by following these standard references, you can protect your databases, you can protect your solution, you can reach a near zero RPO by following these practices. What is important is when I was mentioning the preferred database services is Exadata, because it provides you the rack real application cluster. So by using Exadata and real application cluster, you are already at the silver level. So you are already in this silver level where you have HA. Remember that Exadata is running on different database service. So that's different hardware. So you have one node of each on different hardware. So you are protected from any failure, hardware failure. So you are already in rack. Then you can add more services, and you can add, for example, another Exadata infrastructure to reach the gold level, and where you will enable Active Data Guard to replicate your data between availability zones, AZ, or between regions. That's what we will see in the upcoming slide. But also, to protect your application, you also need to replicate to protect, for in this example, to be gold with PeopleSoft, you need also to replicate your application tier. So maybe Venkat, you can drive us through how you can replicate the application, and then I will continue with some example for the database.
Hey, yeah, sure. Thanks, Julian. See, we support all these different, from an application perspective, we support all these patterns. Look, whether be it high availability between zones, the application being active at a zone level or at a region level, or active at a zone and having a failover with respect to the DR region. All of this is possible with the help of, with the application gateway, and which can be combined with ASR to manage all the different DR scenarios. From a file system, you can create a common storage file system which can be used to share software binaries across these application servers, web servers and Elastic servers. If we are looking for higher throughput and lower latency, we recommend Azure Files Premium. which means, and for high availability, you could use options like LRS or ZRS that can be used. And if you go with Azure File Standard, then you could even go for a geo or geo zone redundant storage as well, right? So that you could do. And you could use Azure File Sync for multi-region resiliency. These are all the different options with respect to achieving high availability and DR for the application layer.
And by doing this, then also you protect your databases. So by the slide presented before, you enable the different capability for your MAA. So you will be able, using the console, using Terraform, using CLI to enable data guard or autonomous recovery services. So by doing this, you can replicate your data in a click. And one last thing here, for example, in this gold architecture, you can also and implement this architecture with all the Azure services. So, for example, coming soon with Azure Key Vault for cross-region and all this. So you can protect and secure and managing your key also in this with this kind of architecture. So there is really no trade-off, and you can really meet your business requirements. So for example, next slide, just to show you in one click, once you deploy, if you want to reach the gold level, you go on the OCI console, you click on the data guard group, you click on add standby to join a new data guard group or to create a new data guard group or to do an association to an existing one. And then simply you will select where you will place your standby databases, in which peer VM cluster, could be in a different IoT zone, could be in a different region. You can even combine, because in a data group, you can have multiple standby. So you can have a standby in a different IoT zone and also in a different region. So you click in at standby, you click in to provide the other information, like what will be the standby database name and these kind of things. And in 3 clicks, you are done, and your data guard is replicating your data. Then the next thing that is important in the next slide is also how you protect your data with autonomous recovery service. You can enable easily where you want to store your backup, and by checking this checkbox here that you can see in the red square, you can check, do I want to keep my backup in the same location where is my database, or if not, then it will be in another location in OCI. And by doing this, you create your protection policy. So here, for example, on this screen, your protection policy is called finance local backup. So stay in Azure with the backup retention of 37 days. Then now, when you go on your database, please, Nathan, if you can go exactly. You remember that for each database, you define the backup. So for this particular database, then you enable automatic backups to the autonomous recovery service using the protection policy that you previously defined. And then you can click the real-time data protection to become zero data loss recovery service. And by doing this, so that's the ZRCV, by doing the real-time data protection, then you have a backup, an incremental backup at the transaction. So really, each time that there is a new transaction, it's backed up using Airman, so a technique solution that you already know, and this way you protect from maintenance, from any outage, from any circumstances, your data, and that's how you reach what was presented in the MAA, so the near zero data loss protection. And by doing this, I turn on to Venkat, who will explain more things regarding the network.
Hey, thanks, Julian. Thank you so much. So if we could use any of these three methods three models that we are showing on the slide to position the application tier with respect to the Oracle Database at Azure. we have three options. One is you could use the local VNet topology. Local VNet topology is where it's for simple management and there are no extra peering costs. You could keep your application tier and the database tier in the same virtual network. Uh, so in that's the simplest option. However, it may be not so flexible when if your teams or applications need separate networks. In which case, you could go for the VNet peering option, wherein you could have your application stack sitting on a different VNet and your database, in this case Oracle Database at Azure, sitting on a different VNet, and you could peer them. So this gives you that enhanced isolation, and you'll have better scalability. You can establish governance boundaries. You can improve your security posture and get granular access control over resources, and you would also be able to achieve better network segmentation. You could also go in for a full mesh pattern where you can have each of your application and virtual network kind of directly paired with the database VNet, or you could have all these traffic passing through a hub network wherein you could have shared services running like firewalls or the DNS service. All of this could be running on a hub and your traffic always flows through the hub. This will ensure that you continue to have low latency communication, but you'll also have centralized traffic inspection and management. So one key call out that I want to mention here is that irrespective of your network topology, your latency would not be impacted that much. It's more about your segmentation requirements than on performance. For complex environments, what we would recommend is you deploy your Oracle database at Azure or Exadata in a dedicated subscription, and then you connect to this from different application subscriptions, right? And each of them, in each application subscription, you could have your application stack running different VNets, and you could connect to the database network. In that way, you are enabling independence in management between your data layer and your application layer. Moving on, we can move on to the next slide. Yeah, so there are there are two parts to migrate from a migration solution perspective. There are two parts to it. One is application migration, wherein you can just lift and shift your existing applications over to Azure, and you can move your apps, the application stack to VMs or to the and use VMs and storage accounts. And we would like to call out that both PeopleSoft and EPM are supported, and we have given those. We'll give the links to the actual support pages as well. From a database migration, I think Julian has covered a lot of it. But to summarize, you could use a zero downtime migration for logical migration. You could use data pump and data guard for the switchover. We now have Golden Gate also available on Oracle Database at Azure, which can also be used for to do change data capture and keep your data in sync while you could use data pump for your initial loads and the data guard for the cutover. Yeah, Nathan, you can go to the next slide. So as you progress on your migration journey, what we want to call out that there are a host of services that you could use throughout this journey to make sure that your entire workload is enterprise ready. As you can see across all these different swim lanes that we have, right from onboarding and deployment to data migration, where we spoke about the different options available for data migration. You could also we also have all these AI options available where you have the Azure OpenAI service, Microsoft Foundry, all of which can be integrated with the Oracle databases. And from a security and compliance, we have integration with Azure Key Vault also that is available, which can be integrated with the Oracle database at Azure services. We want to call out all those Oracle services in red, wherein we have integration available with the Oracle database at Azure, and the services from Azure, which are in blue, are those which we can integrate with Oracle databases running on Oracle database at Azure. So this will help you make sure that your workloads are enterprise ready. can move to the next slide. Yeah, as we move on to the next slide, wanted to leave you with the best practices when you migrate mission critical applications or workloads like PeopleSoft and EPM. There are 3 points that we would like to highlight. Make sure that you identify the right level of availability based on your business objectives. Avoid single points of failure. Make sure you have a right backup strategy for your application and your database tiers defined. Plan your network design. Make sure that you involve your network and security teams upfront. Plan for the migration. Plan for the different environments needed. Plan for the segregation. Identify all the cloud managed services that you need to use, so that, and also think about cost, controlling your cost and your usage through auto scaling capabilities available with Oracle Database at Azure. We can go to the next slide, Nathan. Yeah. Um, we have 3 live labs available for Oracle Database at Azure. That's for all of you who want to get hands-on and understand how these services are deployed, how you can use these services. We have a fantastic LinkedIn community wherein you can post all your questions, and there are people who would be responding, and you could respond and you could help out with your knowledge always. We welcome you to join our MVP program. Uh, and then, yeah, before I move on to the next slide, I just want to make sure that I call out that the next session, we are having a technical deep dive 3 as part of this webinar series. That's on enabling AI. We'll be talking in depth about enabling AI using Foundry, Copilot Studio, and Oracle MCP on Oracle Database at Azure. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you. Thank you, folks. Nathan, over back to you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Julian and Venkat. We did have one question I wanted to touch on. Maybe, Julian, you can address it, but the question is for the data guard traffic for maintaining data guard standby databases. Can you speak to the costs associated with that network traffic?
Yes, sure. So by default, the data guard network traffic will go by Azure, and then Azure uh, networking cost terms and conditions will apply as any routing traffic in Azure. Or you can configure the traffic to go by OCI, and then in this case also the OCI terms and condition will apply. So the same cost that you know in OCI. So you have really the option to choose by which path you want to take. Venkat, do you want to add
I
something?
think you covered both aspects. Yeah, we are good. We are good there.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We are at time, so I'll stop recording the session.